Gothic Knights, welcome to 69 Faces of Rock. How are you guys doing today?
Excellent. Great to be here.
Excellent. Introduce yourself. Tell me what you do in the band.
Mario Cosentino, bass guitar.
John Santakis, guitars and vocals.
Kevin DiDario, drums. Dave 3, guitar.
Excellent. You have a very long history. Let's dig into it. How did you guys form?
Back in 1990, the dream back then was to form a heavy metal band. I was one of the guitar players that used to practice, 14, 16 hours a day, and I just love heavy metal. We started looking for like-minded musicians as soon as we finished high school, and I found, Mario came into the band around that time. We were both original members from 1990, and we put our first record out in '96. We had some growing years, and it was exciting. Our first album, and then we released Kingdom of the Knights in '99.
Let's stop because we have a lot of questions about that.
I hope I answered that question. It's so long ago, but
I know
it's passion. It's passion.
You did a demo to Hell and Back. That was the first demo, but it had enough songs for an album, right?
No, that was 4-song demo. So back then, when it was '93, Rick the Warlock Sanchez came into the band, a young singer, but we knew right away when we heard his voice, he had some magic to his voice. Mm-hmm. 6 months later, we put out To Hell and Back, and we knew we had something special right then and there. As soon as we heard that demo, Creature of the Dark, and the songs on there, we just knew we had something. So we started shopping it around, and we got a lot of attention.
How would you describe your style at that time?
We're classical, neoclassical shred metal. I guess power metal, but we have a heavier side to us, a darker side. Each album has had like a different kind of vibe, for better or worse, but we consider us a classic metal band.
Let's show the first album and let's talk about that. Okay.
So this is the first album, came out in 1996 via Sentinel Steel Records. Dennis Golby was a main force behind us to getting this out. This is the vinyl. This is brand new. It was put out by Alone Records. I think they're in Greece.
Yeah.
And we have a black vinyl and a colored vinyl. Mm-hmm. And we also have new CDs of it. So these were out of print for many years, but we got new CDs printed and the vinyl as well.
How did that album do when it came out?
It actually sold pretty quickly. We actually, I think all the copies were sold out within a couple of years. I think the one thing that stopped us from printing that over the years is, for one, is Rick, we had he's again fantastic singer, but we had, let's say, trouble with him because he called it stage fright. We knew he had trouble sometimes going on stage, and he would come in and out of the band. So when we put out the Kingdom of the Knights, we had a different singer. So we started, just moving forward. And but now we're revisiting our history. We're putting all the albums out, and that's why we put the stuff on vinyl. We haven't had Kingdom of the Knights out for many years, and that's also out on CD as well.
Before you did your second album, there were a bunch of demos for about 4 years or so.
So yeah, we would do demos, and then sometimes there were some demos that we liked the sound a little bit better, and we kind of revisited that, and I don't know, someone leaked it on YouTube somehow, so it's hard to find, but I think you can find it somewhere on the internet.
I think in the future, as because now we're reactivated, you're going to see more of those old demos get reissued, maybe with some of the remasters. We had one demo that we actually, as a band, felt that it was actually better than our first.
Yeah, CD. 1995.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And then I guess the thing is that you make decisions with the label. It's sometimes you go with what the label decides, but there's a lot of stuff that we have from the past that we can definitely revisit and remix, remaster the demos. Unreleased songs.
Up from the Ashes, your second record, right?
Third record.
Third record.
Kingdom is our second record.
Kingdom of Knights. Let's show that one and talk about.
Oh no, that's not Kingdom.
Oh, I know, right?
Everyone's from the Ashes. Sorry. There's Kingdom of the Knights. This is the reissued CD. It's not the original CD, but
You have the vinyl. right
again through Alone Records. And here's the
That's
vinyl.
the whole catalog. There we go.
there. There we go.
I don't know which version this is, but this is the black.
So we got
The color ones are really impressive. I think there's a post about it. The colored editions.
How did things change from the first album to the second?
yes. So,
Well, we had Brian Avatar on vocals. Rick left the band. He's been in and out of the band once or twice, and we started working with a new singer, Brian Avatar. That was more like a demo because I think we have like 8 songs on there, but one of them's a cover, so it wasn't really like a full-fledged, 10-track album. But and then some people really loved Brian, some people really loved Rick, and there's like this whole, camp where people like one or the other.
And as far as the musical style, we went more for, I guess you could say, more of a pure power metal sound, like cross Maiden and Priest with Manowar. I mean, that's to me, that album is that. And I would say certainly our newer music, especially even some of the new songs that we're playing tonight, is that. And that's something that we've been again revisiting, for the future of the band.
At this point, you were able to play any shows, any touring with 2 records?
Yeah, so again, the issue back then was our singer Rick had stage fright. So that's like what we would like to say, and because he was a great person in the studio. He was a hardworking individual. He had a golden voice, but he had issues sometimes going on stage. So we didn't do a lot of touring for the first album. The second album, we released it, but there was also some issues personality-wise in the band, so we needed to move on, and in fact, that's when Rick came back for the third album, which is Up From the Ashes.
Finally, let's see Up From the Ashes and talk about that
So
one.
yeah, Up From the Ashes. This came out in 2000. What?
2003 was released
2003,
in
sorry.
Europe, and 2004 in the United States.
This is a digipack. This is a special edition. It's got 2 extra tracks on it. It's got The Machine and a cover of a Duran Duran song, Hungry Like the Wolf. Some people really dig that. That was kind of like us trying to just think of doing something different. So
How did that album do for you?
that one probably did the best as far as reviews and mainstream success.
It was definitely for us sonically a step up, because this time around the band also got enough money to actually do layered tracks in the studio, spend more time on the vocals. This is the first time we actually did guitar harmonies that we really concentrated on, and so that's when even the band's musical development really grew at that time. And we had Frank Gilchrist from at that time he was in Virgin Steel come in and do the drums, and it all helped bring up the band to a different level. I would say that really put us out there in Europe even more so, and I know the CD did very well, and it was definitely a good experience. Again, we brought Rick back into the band, and again, we're friends from a long time, and I would say years later, it's like we again had the same issues, the issues of playing live.
After this album, you took nearly 10 years off.
Yeah.
What was going on during this time?
Yeah, we had issues with Rick. Rick, didn't want to play shows. I remember times we used to play shows, and I was just telling the band on the way here, it's like he would, during the guitar solos, he'd hide behind the amps. It's like he again, great guy, great voice, great, vision. He had excellent musician and wrote great songs, but we couldn't move on. Couldn't get out there live.
So how did you reassemble the band?
Yeah, so again, we're friends. That's the thing. When you're friends, it's like you got that friendship aspect, and then people, they come back. They apologize. You forgive, and you forget sometimes a little too much, and then we release the 4th album.
Let's show it. Here we go.
Reflections from the Other Side. This is definitely a heavier, darker album. It's got a little bit of a harder edge to it. It's me. I feel like it's got a little bit of a Merciful Fate kind of vibe to it.
Testament.
it's not thrashy like Testament, but it's more like, you know, occultish stuff,
That's
heavy.
the first album that we
And I was about to ask you,
recorded on, yeah.
how did you guys find your way into Gothic Knights?
Well, I've been a Gothic Knights fan since the beginning. I've known John since he was a young teenager. We went to school together. We always were enthusiastic about
there's a long
guitar.
history.
Long history, you know, almost 40-ish years now.
High school, yeah.
We've known each other. Yeah, and you know, we were enthusiastic about guitar together. He was one of the first people to ever show me how to play things on the instrument, and you know, we've been friends ever since. And then one day he said, you know, I think it might be a benefit to the band to have 2 guitar players. And here we are. I've been in the band close to 16 years now. And that's around the time that he joined the band as well.
Right, around 2004, I was working in a music store in New York, and a friend of mine that worked there had said that Gothic Knights was looking for a drummer. At the time, I was working with somebody, but eventually we hooked up, and yeah, that was the beginning of me being in the band around 2004.
Are there any plans for new music?
Yeah, in fact, we're going to be playing 2 new songs tonight. You know, we have decided, and I think with the last few years with COVID, how do we move the band forward? We've always had, you know, exceptional singers. So the decision was made, is for me to actually start singing for the band. You know, I am with Mario in a Judas Priest Iron Maiden tribute band for years, but I never wanted to do that for Gothic Knights. I always envisioned it as a 5-piece, but what's changed is that, you know, you need to bring the band forward. You need to build the brand, and you got to have stability. And the way we're looking at it is like, you know, get out there, play, release, record, and I'll sing for the band for as long as I need to. Does it mean that I'll sing forever? Maybe not. Maybe no. Maybe we'll find a singer that is like-minded. For us right now, we're building the band, and we're going to be playing a ton. That's the difference. We've got 4 guys here that are ready to go out and play, pour their hearts out, and let's say make up for that lost time. And again, if somebody comes along that is like-minded, sure, we'll entertain it. Again, we're musicians. It's like we're out there. We want to spread the word of metal, the way for what Gothic Knights is.
Finally, despite all of the ups and downs, what kept the band going?
We love metal.
Love of music.
And friendship. I would say friendship is equal to the music. It's like we're friends here. You could see we've known each other as friends for decades, and that's the difference. That's what kept us together through the good times and the bad times.
We've been through a lot. We always just, this is our passion, and you know, it's something like that. You just don't give it up, you know. So we just keep going because we love it.
You guys feel the same passion being you?
Absolutely. The only thing I want to do is be on a stage. So this is the best outlet for it that I could find, and I love it.
Same for me. I feel very strong about it myself.
Thank you guys, and good luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.